In this video, we are going to be talking about metaphysical poetry. So we are still in the Renaissance. Uh, and this is a rebirth of learning. Okay. So meta being beyond or after, and physica being work. So beyond work. And this is a time period where poets are getting very creative. Shakespeare is in the scene, and metaphysical poetry really questions the existence of man, questions God. It's very complex. So at this point in time, we get these very exaggerated statements. A lot of these have to do with uh, things like death, things like love, very complex types of thinking. Um, let's see, where am I? Some characteristics of medical physical poetry. Again, abstract reasoning, they're questioning life. Um, Typically, you only really see love or death as a theme. But this is kind of pioneering a time where people are truly questioning um, life itself. One thing that's actually pretty interesting about this is a metaphysical conceit. Now, a metaphysical conceit is an elaborate metaphor. Now, this is where poets are comparing two very opposite things, okay? And I'm going to give you some examples here. My first example is from a true poem by John Donne. Some people mispronounce his name John Donne. It's John Donne. He's a pretty prominent poet. Uh, a lot of his poets focus on death. However, this is only part of his poem, The Flea. Oh, stay 3 lives and 1 flea spare, where we almost nay more than married are. So we're talking about love, marriage. This flea, so he's talking about a fly, is you and I, this marriage bed and marriage temples is. Though parents grudge and youth were met and cloistered in these loving walls of jet. Though use make you apt to kill me, let not to that self-murdered added be, in sacrilege 3 cents in killing thee. So this is kind of an interesting poem. But essentially, in The Flea, it's kind of an idea where he's taking this flea and he's comparing it to marriage, and he's saying, we're already mixed together. This flea is essentially mixed our lives together. So let's go ahead and meet in bed. So the comparison between flea and marriage is not one that one would normally make, but he's saying the fleas are so closely related, let's just consummate before we meet marriage. Interesting concept, but that's the comparison he makes. I'm going to pull up some conceits here. So what you are going to do on your own is have you compare two very opposite things, okay? So maybe I'll ask you to compare your life to a car, your hometown to a hobby or sport you do. So here are some examples. My job is like a prison because you're given a specific time to stay there, and the people there are not always nice. My friends are a pack of hyenas because they can attack but always stay together. Life is like a book. It has so many layers, and they can stay uh, and they can stay unchanged. The genre is different because everyone's life story is different. My vocabulary is like an ocean. It's vast and tumultuous. It becomes bigger, but it will never end. So today, what you're going to do with this concept of metaphysical conceits, you will compare two things you will not normally find together, sort of like how John Donne does with the flea. Interesting concept there. But simple assignment here, sort of like how the metaphysical poets do, and we'll kind of work with them tomorrow in a group assignment. All right, I will see you all tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.